So what we're going to do, we're going to move on from this topic, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of having children. This is I debate this a lot with my friends. I don't think I ever spoke with you, Henry, about this, but my brother, he had his children very young, and I'm thinking about having my children in the next few years. One thing I did not want to do is have children and see what happened to like my mother and my family members. They struggled. I mean, kids were expensive. They didn't have nobody to watch them. It was hard to go to school. They had to drop out.
And this is just the beginning.
I was just like, there was all these things that was rolling and rolling and rolling on top of that. And I said they didn't have the financial stability or any of that. I was able to go to college. I didn't have to worry about not going places when I could just go and leave the house. I was able to financially save my money. It didn't have to be spent on diapers and school supplies and things of that nature. So I wanted to see, do y'all think it's better to have children when you're younger or when you're older? Allow me, I'll start with you.
So I think that it really does depend on the person. There are persons that I feel are real, for at least female, are maternal, very maternal, and are able to transition into motherhood at a very early age. And then there are persons that are not. So it's quite individualistic. What we do see when we've looked at certain data in the past, and I don't know what the current situation is, but normally persons who have children early, maybe, like the age of 13, 14, 15, they normally only have one kid. And that's in a number of circumstances. Meanwhile, in others, they'll continue to have children and struggle. But it really does depend on the circumstances, the person, what their outlook on life is. For me, I don't have a child, and I remember when I was younger, and I, had girlfriends, and I remember even having unprotected sex with them. And ejaculating in them, I would pray that, oh my God, please don't let me have no kids, blah, 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 blah. And that would have absolutely changed my life, right? But today, I'm walking around and I'm like, damn, I wish I had the son. I wish I had a daughter, and to go through the whole process right now of getting to know a lady and trying to do all of that is just so, nerve-wracking and mind-boggling. And my experience of the women in the United States are not necessarily persons I'd always want to deal with as I move forward with, creating a family, all that kind of good stuff. So it's kind of a challenge for me. So everyone is different. Yeah, and for me, I don't know if it really matters.
And speaking of that, that it's not the first time I heard that, because my brother and his wife, my brother was pretty much telling me, he said if he wasn't married to his wife, he would not be like involved with women in America. He would like be dating somebody from Brazil or, somebody from out of the country. And I've noticed that when people travel abroad, they have way more better connection with people from overseas than they do in American. I don't know if it's because of Instagram or everybody want to be an Insta model or Insta influencer or whatever you want to call that stuff these days.
I just think that it's potentially the culture. Women, everyone in different areas are exposed to different experiences. And, for me, I feel like if I were getting involved with a woman and having a child in a different location, then the experience is really going to be different, right? In America, it's just that I think that a lot of women and men lead them into this, down this path. They have a really kind of a different approach to, the father and how we be.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Remain a part of the family, especially when you have alternative lifestyles. And it could be very vindictive, and you could spend a lot of time in court. And so I just don't want to experience that. And so that, that's why my experience is what it is. Meanwhile, if you were to potentially have a relationship with someone outside of the country who has a different who has a different experience, and really cherish having a father in the child's life, whatever the case might be or the other circumstances, it might very well be a rewarding experience.
Parker,
So,
you have
Chris,
some-
can I ask you a question? Is your brother's wife, is she Black?
Yes.
Well, see, I think that's a deeper topic, because I just feel like these days Black men don't love Black women anymore,
They don't.
and
They don't.
Black men don't love Black women like they used to. And I feel like because it is glamorized, as you just said, you want to get a girl that is in these other countries. And that's also another power grab also, because when you do go to these countries such as, like you said, you said Colombia, right? Where'd you say?
Colombia, Brazil,
Colombia. I mean, anywhere, Thailand, any country outside the US, I do feel like it is obviously that euphoric stage of when you go anywhere, it's going to feel like, oh, this is amazing. This is the best culture. This is the best vibe, because you're not used to it. Right. And obviously anyone that's in a different country, not anyone, but most people in a different country, especially in a situation where you're an American, they aim to please you, and it's more of like, oh, this is like an American, and like, because everyone thinks like, oh, America's like the greatest country in the world. They think we are all rich. This is just a perception that I've learned throughout traveling multiple countries, and so I think that's like a bigger discussion. I don't think that it's I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's just knowing what you have and like loving that, and also too, if you do go get a partner from out of the country, whether it's male or female, you have to sponsor them. It's a lot that comes with that also. So, which you're then responsible for them legally, regardless of child support, as you spoke of, and going to court and things of that nature. There's still some legal binding there, whether you bring someone in or have a kid with them here in the country.
Yeah, and speaking
my
of what
experience is that not everyone wants to come to the U.S. Now, there is this there's this perception and this effort by America to present America as the place that everyone wants to be. And so that leads into other things with where females are concerned. But that is not necessarily always the case, right? There are females who truly want to be with someone and stay where they are and raise the kids where they are, because there is also the understanding that not everyone is aligned with the American culture, and they don't want their kids to be associated with that either. So there are, again, these nuances, and it really, like you said, it's a bigger topic that deserves specific questions on specific parts of this overall umbrella topic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're running out of time on that topic. So we will definitely come back to this topic, especially what you talked about in terms of race, because being from Kansas, and I'm just going to close it out, the Black people out there only want to date white. White this, white that, white. I want my kids to have nice hair. I want my kids to be like, it is so pushed out there. And my brother might get mad at me when I say this. Even he was like that at one point. He only dated light-skinned girls. It's pushed heavily out there in the Midwest, Kansas, Missouri.
There are a lot of white people in the area.
But you're forgetting
their surroundings. That's probably what they're gonna date. Like where I lived in Florida, all I dated was Black guys. Like
no, but in Wyandotte County, it's nothing but Black. But a lot of people just want to get out of there and they just want to date white. And so you see them go to Overland Park, Kansas, or Johnson, which is the rich area, technically where all the resources is, but that's where most of the white people stay. And they go with white. Everybody want to date light. Even the Asians, we just want to date white. I'm telling you, it's very prevalent. If you ever lived in the Midwest out there, it's very prevalent. But we're going to shove this.
I know you want to move on, but if I might just say one thing, I'll take just 20 seconds.
Go ahead.
There is this whole thing about how we were raised, right? Where we saw white people on television or mixed people, and they were always the preference. There was this colorism issue as well. And that has always played a role in the way we choose to date. I think that the fact that we have social media now, where we are glorifying hair and skin color and all that kind of stuff, I think that as it continues to reach our population, we will continue to see changes. And I think that's where we are headed. I hope that's where we're headed.
And then Ani, just real quick, so where were you raised at? Just so I have just so I know a little bit. But Jamaican? You're raised in Jamaica?
Accent?
I was born and raised in Jamaica, yes.
Okay. No, I mean, it can be a little British, so I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was Europe. So
Yeah. So
Hey.
That.
love it.